Hello, and welcome to our Expat Connector webinar, Impact Driven Marketing. First off, I'd like to take a moment and talk about what Expat Connector is. My husband and I have founded Expat Connector because we want to support entrepreneurs worldwide, helping build global connections so that when you're starting your business, whether you're in your home country or in a different location, that you start to build resources of different experts in their field that can assist you in your entrepreneur journey. Expat Connector is here to build connections and support for your business. So what we are bringing to our members in 2022 is multiple ways to connect. We have our educational components with our monthly webinar. Today's webinar is where I'll be talking about impact-driven marketing. We also have our power connecting, our speed networking, which that's what it's all about, is talking about your business in a one-on-one situation and going around and meeting between 5 and 7 people in the 1-hour event. The other is our masterminds, where we group together a small group of 10 people, and you're able to bring your latest business challenge or something that you have a question on and that you need some support. It's an ability, an opportunity to share your expertise by answering other questions and to gain feedback on yours. So that brings us to my presentation tonight, Impact-Driven Marketing. My name is Heidi Pope, and I am the co-founder of Expat Connector. I also am the owner and CEO of 𝐋𝐞𝐚𝐫𝐧 Marketing and Enhanced Marketing. Today, we are talking about how to focus your marketing. What I have on the slide here on the left side is how a lot of my clients have come to me. They've come with their brand, they've come with a logo, they've come with a business name, what they think their message is, what they've done with their target audience, a marketing plan and website. And actually, I should re-rank that. Most of them don't have a marketing plan. A lot of them have developed the brand, the visual entity, the logo, the great fun parts, the creative parts, without thinking about who they're going to talk to, who they're going to serve. So that's where tonight I'm talking through the marketing plan, target audience, your message, your brand, and your website, ideas for that. That's the order that I suggest you work on your business through. The first aspect, the marketing plan, isn't something just to check off in a box, isn't something to do once and then put away. It should be a living, breathing document that you look at, that you re-look at, that you rethink about. Because this is how we're going to outline your business, how we're going to build strategy. Marketing strategy is a really widely used term talking about how to market, what are you going to do? But take a step back. How we get to that point is by defining what your company is, what your key defining features is. So that's going to kind of go align with how you're going to differentiate yourself in the market. I'm a marketer. I'm a graphic designer. There's many of us. So what I talk about is that I love to consult. I love to sit down and meet with my clients where they're at in their process, and I work with them from there. Others may like to just do the logo part. Others might just like to do the direct marketing. So talking about how you're going to work with your target. Part of that process is defining your target audience for your avatar, and we'll get into that in a little bit. And then defining how to sell. So how do you want to get customers? How do you need to get customers? How do you convert that customer? We want to think in our marketing plan about our materials. Are there any pieces that we're going to print? Do we need a flyer to hand out? Are we advertising a book that we've written? Are we developing an electronic newsletter? And then what our budget is. Usually a budget needs to be looked at and is unknown when I talk with people about their marketing. When you define your company, things to think about is what you're passionate about. What do you do right now in your business? Or what does your business do? Or what do you want it to do if you're at the concept stage of your business? And then those key defining features are going to come up a lot in this conversation because that's what makes you unique. That's what makes your business and not someone else's. And what's your business goal? Do you want to reach certain customers? Do you have a product you're trying to sell, a service? What's the goal around that item? Then we're going to talk about the target. With your target, your avatar, your personas, who do you want to talk to? Who's going to benefit from talking with you and working with you? When you think about that person and you think about who's going to benefit, we want to think about their challenges. What causes them concern? What are pain points, we call them, where they're an item that they need to have a solution for? And that would be how your product would help or how your service would help. So taking a step back and looking at that. And then when we're looking at marketing to your target, we're looking at where they are. Are they online, offline? Are you going to a trade show once trade shows are back open? Are you going to a virtual trade show? Are you marketing them on social media and digital platforms? So here we're going to talk about Sally for a bit. Sally is the ideal client for 𝐶𝐞 Health and Wellness. This is a fun exercise that I encourage you to do with a piece of paper. You can talk about what Sally's goals are, for instance. Here is to be healthier, personal growth, exercise, what their frustrations are, and what their concerns are. When you think about Sally, for instance, that helps you craft your messaging because every entrepreneur is a salesperson. We didn't go to school for sales. We don't consider ourselves sales, but every time you encounter someone and talk about your business, you are essentially selling your business, why they want to work with you, what benefits your business has. So how do we face the challenge of obscurity? And that's what we'll work on in that messaging. We want to talk about why we do what we do. And when we think about features, we also need to think about the benefits. And the benefits are going to be those details that solve the pain point. The other item is that we want to be consistent throughout your marketing materials, throughout the items we talk about today, is consistency in your message. So once that's developed, making sure that that's across platforms, across marketing materials, websites, conversations. Your voice is going to help you be that authoritative expert that knows your business. And how do you want to do that? Do you want to be professional? Do you want to have a fun edge? Do you want to do more casual? So you can work with that in your copy, with how you're going to develop your messaging for that. The most important thing is that trust component. During the sales cycle, whether it's a service or product, people take time. They still take 3 to 6 months, usually, to research you, to learn about you, to read your blogs, to read your social media, look at your website, see any content they can find out about you and your business. Because people like to do business with someone like them. We don't want to be sold to, we want to better understand you as a person. So that's where we talk about education. We talk about telling a story, and we want it to be personal and consistent. The fun part of connecting is about brand identity. It's one of those creative components that I talked to you about that a lot of people come with first. But now that we've talked about, as you've worked on your messaging, you've thought about who you want to work with, you really want to make sure that your brand, that is more than just your logo. But let's talk about the logo for a minute. We want to make sure that the logo is a representative of your company. Is your company name representative of you? I've had different life coaches that have one company name, let's say Heidi's Life Coaching, but their website is HeidiPope.com. Well, that's not going to help when people are looking for my business. That's not going to help because there's not a life coaching. There's not a service item in there for Google to pick up or for you to be easily found. So thinking about that, about the name, about the look, does the visual say that it's your business? Is it clear? One example of that is Woolly Time Micro Farm. This was one of my clients that came to me, talked about who they were trying to reach. I helped do a consultation of who they work with, who they want to serve, what their goals were. And I asked them what was reflected in the logo. When I bring this logo to presentations, people see sheep. They think farming. They think hair salons at times. You see the word micro farm, so think that you might be able to either visit or purchase different meats, for instance, like chicken, or that is a textile that is collecting and creating wool. So that's the type of feedback. And I also asked them why it was black and white. And there wasn't a reason for that. This was, 20 years ago. There used to be a larger difference of printing black and white or color, or if you're printing a large publication. But for a logo and for how they were using it, which was only in the digital space, there was no need not to have color. Well, let me tell you more about Woolly Time Micro Farm. They are a grower of whole natural vegetables. They have nothing to do with sheep. They had picked the woolly thyme and the sheep because of the spice, and the texture that the spice made is soft, like the wool. But that wasn't representative of what they did. Their mission and goal was for every bag that's picked up by one of their families that they serve, that's food for them for the week, produce for them for the week, no meat, produce. And so with that, it was an opportunity that they want their customers to sit down, enjoy a family meal, talk about how their week's gone. So that's where the tagline was developed for growing food and finding joy. So finding that joy at the family table, joy of connecting with your kids and family. and then adding color, earthy tones with that vegetable really solidifying the logo. What you'll find is that 33% of logos are blue. A lot of blue and red are used. Blue is used for trustworthy. Red's been used for that attention grabbing. So I'm going to come back to Sally for a minute. So now we have our target audience in this example. We have Sally. Sally now is going to see consistency with the logo, the business card, the display piece that is shared that's on a rack card at her local gym. When they go and look up the health coach on LinkedIn, schedule a session. And then this middle part is the most important here, where it talks about the colors used, Pantone colors, fonts. The number one thing when I work with clients that already have a brand identity, already have a logo, they don't have the logo files. They tend to only have a PDF or a PNG that's low res for them to use online. So I encourage you, any graphic designer or marketing agency you work with, ask for the actual fonts so that you have the font files. Ask for the art files so that you have those as well. I have to stress that because that's something that is missed. The other component of brand is to work with your marketing agency on photography use. That goes along with a professional, fun, casual type of feel. Not only is your brand identity along the visual part of your brand identity, the colors, the fonts, the logo, but it's also use of photography. The purpose of your website is going to still, again, be building trust, educating with that storytelling, and having clear call to actions. So things that you should do is to secure your site. There are still sites I've gone to this week in 2022 that are not secure, and I quickly jump off of them, or they're blocked on my phone so that I can't go there. That's something that now is a security risk, is a reason for someone not to go to your site. And it's very easy to integrate and have the SSL certificates that you need when you work with your website vendor or marketing agency. One thing you can do is include a case study, how you've served a client, how you've worked with them, how that's gone. What we don't want to do is get too personal right away, asking for a large form to be filled out. If we have something for a freebie, asking for a name, email, phone number, date of birth, etc., that's too much. We need to keep it simple. For educating through storytelling, we want to draw people in, creating enticing headlines, use of video. Some people I've talked with have a great website. They have lots of content, they have downloadables, they have a newsletter, and they say, well, how else can I have, what can I have for a call to action? And there might already be enough call to actions. It might be a way to repurpose your content. It might be taking some of that written form and creating a video, sharing a little snippet on social media, bringing it to the full video, which then links to the blog. It's a way to continue the cycle of content and information. When you have the call to action, make sure it's going where they want to go. This is an example of an in-home care agency. Here, the action item is to request a free in-home consultation. You click on that, it brings you to the form, which is great. The other is a lot of chat boxes. If you have a chat box, make sure if you are offline that it's clear. Perhaps have where you can have them send a message. So that's not a stopping point, that is not a deterrent, but that is still a way to connect. To legitimize your business, You want to have your own domain. Again, we're talking about, does HeidiPope.com work, or is Heidi's life coaching stronger? What can strengthen your search terms online? What can you do for an email that matches your domain? I still see a lot of businesses that use their business name at gmail.com. That shouldn't be happening. One way to authenticate is really easy, whether you're setting up emails through your web provider, or for instance, if you are using Gmail, there's many ways to make an alias and make that a more solidified, easy approach that makes you look authentic. Social media, be where your customers are. You know, if you don't know where they are, there's research that you can work with a marketing agency to help you identify that. But that's again where we want to share the story, educate, because this is where people are going to learn about you and your business. So you want to perhaps have a behind the scenes. What's happening before this webinar? What's happening during the webinar? Who did I talk to at the end? Who can I tag and share and spread the word about? A lot of customers I talk with, clients, say, well, I don't know where to start. Well, start with one platform. Start with one platform that you're comfortable with. If you don't have a content calendar, don't let that stop you. There's many connections within Expat Connector that have content workshops that will help you draft your own content. Or there's marketers that will write the content for you, and you just need to approve the posts. Right now, Facebook is still the most highly used, one of the most highly used, a very strong place to still market your business. YouTube is used as well. So that's a great place to have your videos, to build a channel, to have people subscribe. And even if that's, for instance, marketing tips, updates on the latest product, updates on the progress of your product, whatever you can do to engage with your audience. Instagram and LinkedIn are definitely still used. LinkedIn is that business to business with entrepreneurs. That's still business to business. It's just reaching different places. Over 23% visit several times a week to LinkedIn. So it's a viable source of information or a place to market. So part of your marketing plan should be your digital marketing, should be how you're going to show up online and on the different platforms. So that brings us back to how to focus your marketing. So my suggestion for you and how I work with clients is we work on developing the marketing plan. The marketing plan helps identify your target audience, helps identify the messaging that's appropriate for your target. And as that target audience is developed, you may have 3 different targets. You may have different products, or you may have different ways 3 different people interact with your products. Then it's looking at your brand and how to build that around with photography, use of visuals, your logo, business name, how to make that consistent so that when you show up on your website, on your social media, emails, newsletters, WhatsApp group, Facebook groups, that you're consistent. And as well as then developing your website when you have that clear messaging and how you want to target the audience and how they're going to navigate through your information. So thank you very much for listening to my webinar today.